Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of EXAPUNKS. We finished up the TV broadcasting as well as King's Ransom Online last episode, and I looked up, by the way, what the deal is with this activity number in between episodes, and apparently it is like a measurement of how much impact your EXAs are having on the network. The number goes up by 1 every time you use a link command or I believe a kill command. So it's like sort of how noisy you've been, in a way. So an interesting thing to try to minimize. But we're going to a bank. Transfer small amounts of money from multiple accounts into a single account. Okay, no more trying to find shortcuts. Time for a brute force solution to the money problem. I know you like messing around with bank systems. Yeah, sure. Get to do it again, this time with a little more urgency. Move new account file 300 into checking, that's here. Then iterate over the checking accounts listed in the directory. And in that order, transfer $1 from each target account into Ember's account. Finally, add the file ID of Ember 2's account to the end of the directory. I don't think we have to order these things so carefully. Yeah, so this is the directory listing. So 301 is just, it has some keywords available for us, fine. 300, we're making putting the new account into checking. I guess so credit and debit are not types of accounts, but types of transactions, right? A credit gives you money and a debit takes money away. I imagine that this manual entry will give me more details. I guess I'll go look. I was hoping to not have to. But there you have it. Bank, page 30. Here we are. Transactions, account files. Type of account, so we have a type 2 account, which is checking, and there is indeed a star at the end. And then every line after that is actions, so money going in for credits, money going out for debit, dollars and cents. And then the ATMs. Fine. This all seems about like I had guessed it would be. So. We don't need to go into loans, we just need to go into checking. And what am I carrying? Doesn't it look like it's holding a thing? Oh no, that's just the... It's this thing, but on the other side. Okay. So this file has a number of accounts, and for each of those, we just need to transfer $1 in, which means to add a debit to that account and a credit to this account, right? Interesting. And we don't need to know the number that they were... The number of the account, right? Oh, maybe we do. What's the thing on the left? Is that the other account that is being... From or to? Yeah, okay. Got it. So we'll be putting her account number in front of this on each of the other nodes. Okay. So we need at least 2 X's to bring these 2 things that we need in. In principle, we could perhaps keep this credit and debit outside and like just have them transferred to us, but that seems really silly and probably quite difficult, in fact. Well, we don't have to carry it in. We could just store it on an EXA, right? But either way, we need an EXA to read those values. So the ID of this file, yes. So there's a command named file, which stores, if we grab 300 type file X, yeah, then 300 is stored to X. So that's how we're gonna get the, I guess it doesn't matter, right? We already know the ID of her, the account file we'd like to smuggle in. It's just 300 or 300. Yeah, it's 300. So, okay. Figuring out the communication between all these X's is the hard part, of course. It's very easy to say, okay, my algorithm is to scan through all the files in order and make a transaction in 2 different nodes for each of them, but how to do that? I mean, okay, so a thing we absolutely must do is bring file 300 into the checking. So we can start with that, I suppose. Great, now we've got her file here. And we could consider, say, just entering a loop here where the person carrying this file listens for broadcasts of other accounts and writes an appropriately sized credit in that case, right? So maybe it would actually be simpler, or better perhaps, to first grab 301 and copy from F into X. Now we have in X the word credit, right? Drop that file. And now we're in here. Meanwhile, this other EXA could grab 301 as well, although I think that'll fail. Yeah, it'll kill the other one, so we kind of need to wait a little while or something. Or you know what? Let's copy F into M. Right, we'll just broadcast the value to this other guy who can well, that doesn't work, does it? Just grab file 3. Well, we don't need any files, do we? Let's just link 800 twice. Oh, wait. I can avoid some of these transfers if I instead read the values once and then just fork. Once I'm in here, I'll also have performed fewer links in that case, which is nice. So we will replicate to the debit account, let's say, and we have both credit and debit loaded in X and T, and we have the account that we're looking for. In a file. But it's a bit awkward to work with all of those, isn't it? Like, okay, so let's look at how things are, like, just at the beginning. It's pretty simple. We're now here. One of us has the file, the other doesn't. And we both have credit and debit loaded up. Great. You know, success. I guess what we can do... I was thinking it was going to be awkward to, like, scuttle back and forth, like, between the ledger, the list of clients and all of their individual accounts. But I should just not do that, right? I should just fork off a process that... Alright, so we won't break to debit, but to list, for example. And list will spawn off a new EXA to debit each account that it finds. Okay, that's good. So list will then grab 199 and copy F into X, I guess, since T is... We have an important value stored in T, don't we? It's going to be a little bit tough to test EOF, I guess. No, maybe it's not. So we copy F into X, and now we have the two values that I need, right? So let's replicate to debit now. Mark debit. Now, what debit does is pretty simple. It has the values it needs, so it just grabs the file identified by X. And writes some stuff. Oh, I don't have the file, the file containing this person's account on it, do I? Oof. I mean, I can have the list, no, I can have the credit EXA broadcast the account identifier. I guess. Which will also be a useful indicator that it's done writing. So that I can go off and kill it when I'm done. It's a bit awkward, though, to actually read that, isn't it? No, because you can just seek to the beginning to read the account and then seek to the end to start writing more values. You don't need to keep track of where you were. So here we are, owning the bank account here, right? We can just copy F to M, and let's mark transaction, let's say. We will broadcast the user ID of the account we want to put money into, then seek to the end of the file, and I'm really tempted here to use both local and global mode to have two non-overlapping communication channels. Just between the debit and the credit accounts, or EXAs, it's pretty simple. We can just read a thing, we write something to the thing, and it dumps out some stuff into the person's account, and it reports back the person's account number, right? That's all fine, but I was planning to have the listing EXA inspect the traffic that's going by to determine when it is safe to destroy the other processes. And it can't do that if it can't tell what's being which end it's being sent from, right? So if I had communication from the lister to the debitor, or the creditor, I guess, to the debitor, be global, and the reverse be local, then I could listen in on only the channel that will tell me that they're actually done versus the one that they communicate on while they're busy. Yeah, I think I should do that, actually. So we're copying F to M, which is to say broadcasting the ID that we want to put money into. And then we're going to the end of the file, and we're going to switch modes here. Switch to local mode. Note, local is for I don't know, they're both for account numbers. Local comes second, let's say. We send a global message first, and then we get a local message. And that's how I'll remember, I guess, which thing to spy on when I'm ready to stop this raid. We now will copy M to F out of the local channel. And copy the keyword debit, credit, which is in X, into F. Copy 1 into F and copy 0 into F, stealing just $1. Next, we will switch modes again and jump back to transaction. This will, not quite. We need to also seek back to the beginning of the file. And then we will begin broadcasting the account number to give money to again, which normally the debitor EXA will interpret as saying to go ahead and here's who to give the money to. When we're done, the list EXA will interpret this as meaning that there's no transaction ongoing. Okay. So the list has copied F into X Ugh, but how is it... Hang on. I need X for... I'm trying to figure out like how to do a test for EOF without overwriting the important value that we have in T and the important value we apparently have in X. I guess the value in X is no longer important, right? Only in the debit thread, which we forked to, is it important. We really just did this as a way to like send it a value without getting confused. So I will just copy T into X to save it for when we do a test EOF. If we do have an EOF, hang on. So if we have an EOF, life is easy, right? I guess. Yeah, okay, so let's T-jump, I guess, to the kill state. Unclear exactly what we're doing here, but let's say we do something. Otherwise, we must have not been at EOF, and we must now copy X back into T so that we can reuse the X slot and still have the word debit lying around. We will jump back to list in that case, I think. Now, the kill state is relatively simple, I believe. We're already in global mode, so we'll just copy, we'll just void M and kill. This is a little bit noisy, but it's a simple way to solve the problem. And then, in fact, halt. Finally, in the debit mode, we have X as the file we need. We're going to switch to local mode to... Sorry. We want to stay in global mode. Sure. We will now seek to the end of the file we're carrying. And copy from M the account name to deposit into F. Having done that, we will copy from T into F the word debit. And then copy 1 into F, copy 0 into F. Finally, we will seek back to the beginning of the file. Oh, I don't need 2 kills, do I? Because the debit node will already be dead, so we can stop this. And switch modes here to let us copy from F to M, transmitting back who was stolen from. Okay. I mean, I assume this is not correct yet, but it is at least complicated enough to be interesting, so let's see what happens. Carried this in, and we're so this node here, XA, is the one who owns the original account. Meanwhile, XA0 has spawned off a debit dude who has 229, an account number, and debit. That's good. Let's see what XA00 is up to. We've picked up a file. It's a file belonging to Greg Ferguson. We went to the end of the file and we copied, hopefully, Ember's account number there. C41786. And the word debit, and a 1 and a 0. Back of the... Ooh, something just exploded? Did that work? Did it skip too many... Alright, clearly something went wrong there. And it was right as we were finishing up. So are we not carrying a file? We should be, right? Seek minus 9999. That worked, okay. Now we switched modes, copied F to M. So we're sending over the local channel the value C21805, right? And this guy XA is on local, so he should hear it. C21805. Got it. A credit from this account. Look, it even shows up here. We withdrew some money. Okay, so it says we're doing it correctly. I didn't get these mixed up. Credit $1. Switch back to global mode. Go back to the beginning of your file. Okay, so the creditor worked fine. The problem was with the lister. That's you. So we spawned a debit node, copied T back to X, determined we are not at end of file. We copied X to T. We have debit in both lists now. Or in both hands, you might say. We jumped back to list. Ah, list is just too high. It shouldn't include grab 199 in it. Let's call this mark next and jump back to next. So list needs to have this in it because we REPL to list from up here, and we do need to grab the file the first time. But after that, we don't want to. Now we copy F into X, and we have a new account number to work with. Okay, this is looking promising. Why are these guys not dying? There's just too many of them. Oh, am I... I'm just spawning these guys really fast, aren't I? Faster than they can do their operations. In principle, that's okay. But it means that my plan of waiting to see if they're done yet will not succeed. I'll eavesdrop on a message too soon, probably, right? So, like, what's up with this? 0 is, yeah, he's awaiting a message that he's not getting. What's XA up to? I mean, things seem to be proceeding in a reasonable way. Is anyone making progress here? No. They're all trying to read from M. But all right, let's watch what the lister is up to. If he actually finishes early, that would be a problem, obviously. Yes, he's started eating messages way too soon. Okay, got it. And then he just killed one bot, but not all the others, and so the rest just stood around stuck. Got it, got it, got it. So we need some number of no-ops in this list loop here. Before we jump to next, let's just like repeat, I don't know, 6 times, do nothing. Does that give stuff enough time to progress? What is XA01 up to? He's just now sending F his last operation. And then he dies. Just as the new one comes in. Interesting. Test EOF is yes. Okay, he's still way too fast. Let's give it like 10. Yeah, this gives each of them time to complete. Ah, we need to wipe out... No? Oh, right, we need to put... Wait, it says we did everything we needed to do. Well, I don't think that's true. We needed to put her to the end of the directory, right? Ah! Which means I'm actually using the value that I get from the guy broadcasting that account number, right? So in test EOF, jump to kill, I don't just void M. I copy M into F. No, I don't. I copy 300 into F. I see. Right. That's the file number that we need to work with. Or 301? 300. So we have to void M after all. I guess we might as well do it in the other order, just in case there's some sort of weird race condition still. Test UF was yes, so jump to kill. We copy 300 into F. And now our file contains Ember's account as well. And we wait until a message arrives on the global channel, which indicates that we are done writing that last transaction and are ready for a new one. And then we say, gotcha, you're dead. Okay. very, very normal solution, it looks like. Definitely could have made some improvements. I'm surprised there's no, like, Activity 2 solutions. Or at any rate, I don't see any. Maybe it's just that, like, this is very narrow and 2 fits in the same bar. Unclear. We could maybe have been a little smaller with fewer no-ops or something. I don't know. I'm not too worried about it. Defrauding the bank. That's textbook crime, isn't it? Not to worry, your secret's safe with me. I'm not worried. Good, this is no time for second thoughts. Meeting with Nivas. Take delivery of the new supply of medication. Sure.
Delivery.
Nivas hands me the medication. This time it's the real version that was liberated from the drug company. I thought it might look more impressive than the bootleg, but it's basically
To be honest, I thought I probably wouldn't see you again. Didn't think you'd be able to put that kind of money together. So whatever you did, respect.
Nivas hands me another package of the medication, and another.
These are advance deliveries. I think I need to take it easy for a while. The whole thing with the operation we did, those people I mentioned, it got a little hot for me. I'm gonna lay low for a bit. I might do some reading, think about the world we live in. For some reason, I'm in kind of a spiritual mood lately. Anyway, nice doing business with you. Take care of yourself.
Nivas closes the door, leaving me with the rest of the medicine. Interesting character. Everyone's doing what they can in order to survive. Oh my gosh, 3 things! We have create your own virtual networks, optional. What is this about? Happy birthday, I bought a new piece of software for you. Thanks. This is a virtual network creation tool. You can use it to design your own networks. Maybe you could get someone to try to hack your designs too. It's all installed and ready to go. The only non-pirated program on your computer. I see. So this is Steam Workshop where you create new puzzles, I guess. Oops, I made 2 already. Double click something. So how does this all work? I solved it. Great. But that's not very interesting. How do I edit it? Edit. What? It like opened a file browser and exported a pointing at a JavaScript file? Excuse me? That's not what I wanted at all. Test? I see. So actually, I guess I'm betting there is no in-game editor for this. It just was like, it opened this up so that I could actually open it with like, I don't even have a good text editor on my games computer. So apparently you edit things with a text editor, and then you can load them into the game to test them. Fine. Well, I don't really want to do any of that. Certainly not now. Maybe someday. The wormhole. Compete with an opponent to fill a network's hosts with your exas. Or find new hosts by exploring and mapping a data phone network. Well, we don't really have time to do either of these right now, but that's what you have to look forward to. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.